Hey there. Ever thought about changing the world? You can, you know. You don't have to be a politician or a soldier or the leader of a nation. You know what you could be? A great user experience or user interface designer. These are critical skills for all our futures. Designers change the world by changing the way we interact with it. How? By creating interactive websites that open the door to information and put us in touch with the things we want and need. By expanding our reach with mobile apps that make it easier to take on each new day, whether it's shopping for dinner or managing our schedule. And by making the software we use every day easier to use and understand. What do you have to do to become a world-changing designer? I'm so glad you asked. The Microsoft UX Design Professional Certificate was designed to give you the essential skills and knowledge you need to begin your career as an entry-level UX and UI designer. Are you interested in starting a brand new journey to break into the world of UX design? Or maybe you're a student or a recent graduate in design, human-computer interaction, or psychology looking to build skills for entering the job market. Already working in a related role and want to transition into the exciting opportunities UX design can offer. Are you a current UX professional looking for a certificate program to refresh your skills or gain new ones? Regardless of your background, this is your chance to begin or build your career in user experience. All you need is a high school education or equivalent and basic computer skills, and you'll be well on your way. You'll also need a computer with internet access for the hands-on activities and exercises, along with the free version of Microsoft 365 and the free version of Figma, a UX design tool. Don't worry, we'll walk you through this part. But before you're ready to dive into the design process, you'll need to understand the core principles of UX/UI design. These core design principles unlock the skills needed for UX designers to create intuitive, visually appealing, and user-centered digital experiences. And these are the principles you will explore. The Microsoft UX Design Professional Certificate is made up of different courses, each focusing on a different aspect of the UX/UI design experience. Fundamentals of UX/UI design, designing for user experience, user interface design and prototyping, applying UX design in practice, accessibility and collaboration. These courses are each designed to help you be successful starting a new career or building your skills and abilities in your current one. In these 4 courses, you will learn the principles and practices of designing websites, mobile apps, and software interfaces, as well as take part in hands-on projects, dissect case studies for tips and best practices, work through practical exercises, and learn about accessibility in design. You'll also learn about and explore many of the latest design techniques and systems, such as Microsoft's Fluent 2 design system. Design tools that help you build and collaborate on designs, like Figma, which you can see here, as well as popular tools like InVision, Adobe XD, and others. You'll discover the best ways to find and select tools that work best for your team and your workflow. And research and test procedures to help you get the most information about the people you're designing for. You'll even have the opportunity to see how generative AI will help change the future of design. And you will be able to strategize about potential employment prospects and demonstrate your newfound ability to create intuitive, visually appealing, and user-centered digital experiences to prospective employers in a digital portfolio. So let me ask again, does this sound like something you'd like to be part of? Have a hand in designing the future? Then what are you waiting for?
Welcome to the Fundamentals of UI/UX Design. In this module, you'll explore core principles of user experience design, or UXD, and human-centered design, or HCD. This course will highlight the fundamentals of UI/UX design, including the value proposition of UXD for both businesses and users. You'll also see how design can influence user behavior and learn about the impact of UX design on the overall user experience. Meet Alex and Sam, 2 aspiring UX designers. Today, they're taking on their first challenge, redesigning the EcoEats mobile app to make it more user-friendly and engaging for its eco-conscious users. But before they were ready to dive into the design process, they had to understand the core principles of UX/UI design. These core design principles unlock the skills needed for UX designers to create intuitive, visually appealing, and user-centered digital experiences. And these are the principles you'll explore in this course. You will learn about human-centered design and design thinking frameworks. You'll discover the various roles within a UX team and explore different user research methods to gather valuable insights. Next, it will be time to dive into the design process. You'll discover ideation techniques that are used to brainstorm innovative ideas and how to storyboard your design concepts. After you learn to map out your designs, you'll see how wireframing and mock-up tools are used to turn design ideas into interactive prototypes. You'll find out how design systems and style guides can be leveraged to ensure consistency across each of your projects. But your designs won't live in a vacuum, so you'll also learn about the process of refining your designs based on user feedback. Alex and Sam used the core principles of UX/UI design to ensure that the EcoEats app is visually appealing, engaging, and accessible to all users. Ready to embark on the exciting journey into the world of user experience and interface design? Let's get started.
Welcome back to the discussion of UX design. User experience design enables you to solve problems creatively to enhance the user experience by making more navigable and user-centric websites, mobile apps, and software. By the end of this video, you will be able to define user experience design and describe different types of user experiences. But before we talk about how to do that, imagine you're trying to find the perfect gift for your friend's birthday. Your initial search returns a site called Gifts Aplenty, which looks promising at first. But the more you explore the site, the more frustrating your task becomes. The search bar is hidden in the contact dropdown, and it contains no filtering options. The menus are confusing and disorganized, and a number of the links are broken. This is a prime example of a poor user experience. You've probably been frustrated by sites like that as well. This is just one example of why UX design is so important, which begs the question, what do we mean by UX design? According to the Interaction Design Foundation, user experience, or UX design, is the process of creating products that provide meaningful and relevant experiences. In other words, it is the art and science of building interfaces that are intuitive, efficient, and provide a positive and engaging experience. Whether it's navigating a website, swiping through a mobile app, or working with software, UX design guides and enhances user interactions. An example of this would be the Starbucks mobile app, which uses simple navigation, clear and concise information, and an intuitive design that allows users to order food and beverages in the way that best fits users' lifestyles. As with any good UX design, each interaction is tailored to heighten the user's experience with the product. UX design goes beyond simple organization and aesthetics. It's about empathizing with the needs and emotions of your end user. You need to understand their wants, needs, and frustrations. The design should empathize with user experiences, walking in their digital shoes, if you will. For example, Netflix's predictive algorithm offers users suggested content based on the content they typically view. By placing yourself in the user's shoes, you can design interfaces that not only meet functional requirements, but also resonate with people on an emotional level. Those emotions can transform interactions into memorable and delightful experiences. For instance, when you visit a website, you want to be able to quickly find the information you need. Good UX design takes this need into account to create a more positive experience. Why does UX design matter? Well, in today's competitive digital landscape, there are a lot of demands on a user's attention, which means that the quality of the user experience can make or break a product or service. For example, ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft use UX design to quickly connect passengers with drivers, which has changed the way people commute. These apps are successful because they are not just functional, but they make it easy for users to get what they need when they need it. In other words, their UX designs create positive experiences by focusing on what is most important to users. Another example of effective UX design is Abercrombie & Fitch, which updated its website to match the design and flow of its stores to create the same user experience online and in person. Poor UX design includes things like clunky interfaces, confusing navigation, and slow load times. All of these factors contribute to a negative user experience, leaving people frustrated and dissatisfied. On the other hand, aspects of UX design such as clear navigation, intuitive search and filter capabilities, autofill, saved and stored information, and a seamless checkout process can help users get what they need in minutes rather than searching for hours. As we become more dependent on technology, the role of UX design will only become more important, not only for websites and apps, but also for emerging technologies like augmented reality, voice interfaces, and artificial intelligence. The world's digital landscape is constantly being reshaped, and UX designers like you will play a pivotal role in determining how we can best interact with technology. Imagine a world where every one of those interactions is intuitive, seamless, and makes life better. That's a world where technology fades into the background, allowing us to focus on what truly matters: family, relationships, and overall quality of life. This is the future that UX designers will create. So, are you ready to delve deeper into user experience? Ready to use your creativity and to influence the future? Then you're in the right place to get started learning, exploring, and mastering the tools and methodologies of UX design. We'll talk more next time. Welcome to the next chapter in our exploration of user experience design. In this video, we'll talk about the basics of using visuals in your designs. By the end of this video, you will be able to compare and contrast UX and UI, define hierarchy and demonstrate its importance in user interface design using visuals, explain balance and how it visually guides the user, define contrast and how it creates visual emphasis and improves readability, and briefly define other design principles such as white space and visual consistency. Ready? Then let's dive right in. UX design is sometimes mistakenly referred to as UI design and vice versa, so let's start by clearing up any potential confusion. UI stands for user interface. UI design focuses on the screens, icons, buttons, and other visual elements that go into the user experience. It's the artistic side of design, concerned with how the product looks and feels. UX design, on the other hand, focuses on the user's journey, the time the user spends on a website, app, or software program. It's the story of their experience from the moment they land on the webpage to their final interaction or checkout. UX design is concerned with creating a smooth, positive, and enjoyable experience with the site, app, or software, from start to finish. Both UI and UX design use visuals and are part of the user experience. The main difference is that with UX design, visuals are used to make sure the user gets the most out of the experience. It's about flow and organization. The first core principle of visual UX design is hierarchy. Hierarchy is how a site or app organizes information so that it makes sense, as well as prioritizing the order in which the user accesses information. Hierarchy is what guides them through the interface and directs their attention to the most important elements. For example, successful shopping apps direct users to on-sale items and special offers right up front. Clear navigation menus and prominent call-to-action buttons, which instruct the user to do something, are essential components of a good hierarchy, as can be seen on the Airbnb website or the Uber rideshare app. The hierarchical menu structure helps users quickly find what they're looking for, and the call-to-action buttons lead them to take the appropriate action. Balance is the next principle of UX design. Balance makes sure that elements such as text, images, button placement, and other portions of a site or app's layout are arranged in a way that feels visually stable and aesthetically appealing. It's about distributing visual weight evenly throughout the interface to create a sense of order and cohesion. Examples of this include symmetrical layouts with elements evenly spaced on either side of a web page, or asymmetrical layouts where elements are placed off-center for visual interest. Balance also uses elements like headlines, images, and color schemes to guide the user's eye and direct them to the appropriate information and navigation. Contrast is a UX design principle for adding visual interest and emphasis to key elements. There are several different kinds of contrast, such as color, size, shape, style, position, and texture, and each is used to simplify the user's overall experience and to make it easier for them to navigate through a website. Contrast is used to draw the user's eye to important information. For example, the contrast between the text and the background it sits on determines how easy it is to read. This is even more important for people with color blindness or other visual impairments. It also affects how well a site can be seen on different monitors. White space, also known as negative space, is another design principle. It's the empty space between text, images, buttons, and so on that allows them to stand out. It also makes the interface feel less cluttered, which can make it hard for the user to see what's most important. White space gives the user's eyes an opportunity to rest and focus by reducing the amount of visual information they are being shown. For example, it can be difficult, even overwhelming, to find the important points in long, unbroken passages of text. But adding white space, like headings and subheads, bullet points, or spaces between paragraphs, makes the information easier to read and understand. Visual consistency is another principle of UX design. Basically, this is making sure similar elements look and behave the same way throughout an interface. An example of this would be making all call-to-action buttons red so they stand out from other navigation buttons. Visual consistency creates a cohesive and predictable user experience that builds trust and familiarity. Although UX design is more than just appealing visuals, visual design is an important tool for any UX designer's toolbox. Visual design principles are an important key to creating positive, even exceptional user experiences, so make sure you understand and apply them in your designs. Welcome back to the world of UX design. In this video, we're going to talk about what UX design is good for. In other words, who really benefits from the use of UX design? By the end of this video, you will be able to define the value proposition for UX design and explain the benefits for businesses and users. In other words, UX design is better for everyone. Let's dive in and see how. Let's start by unpacking the value proposition for UX design. UX design is all about crafting digital products that are not only visually appealing, but also user-friendly and efficient. UX designers focus on creating positive user experiences that keep people coming back. This is a benefit enjoyed by both businesses and the people who use their websites, apps, and software. How does UX design benefit businesses? UX design can drive real results for businesses. By prioritizing the user experience, businesses can increase conversions when a customer takes an action such as purchasing a product online, improve customer satisfaction, and foster brand loyalty. Plus, when users who interact with a business's website or app can get what they need, whether that's information, products, or some other benefit, quickly and easily, they're more likely to return, recommend the app or site to other people, and even become loyal customers. By using UX design to provide customers with a more positive experience with their brand, a business can increase its profits and better its reputation. The benefits of UX design aren't limited to businesses. Users also reap the rewards of any business's UX design focus. With an intuitive interface, customers can complete tasks efficiently, find the information they need quickly, and navigate the site or app easily. UX design enables users to achieve their goals and enjoy a more pleasant online or in-app experience, which reduces frustration and streamlines the time and effort they have to put in. To get a better idea of how UX design impacts a business and its customers, let's look at 3 different scenarios. Fashion Flare is a trendy online clothing retailer that prioritizes aesthetics over usability. Their website is a visual feast with vibrant images and eye-catching animations. However, navigating the site is like moving through a maze. Buttons are hidden, categories are unclear, and checkout is a nightmare. Because of this, many frustrated users abandon their carts and turn to competitors with more user-friendly websites. Clearly, consequences of neglecting a good UX design cost Fashion Flare plenty. A high bounce rate, users who only view the first screen and exit immediately, decreased conversion rates, people leaving the site without making a purchase, and ultimately, a loss of revenue. The good news is that if Fashion Flare chose to revamp its UX design, they could reverse these negative trends with things like intuitive navigation, a streamlined checkout process, and personalized recommendations. They'd benefit from increased conversions, improved customer satisfaction, and ultimately, a stronger brand reputation. And their customers would enjoy a seamless shopping experience with easy navigation, personalized recommendations, and hassle-free checkout. Those are the kinds of features that encourage customers to return and become loyal. TravelEase, on the other hand, is a travel booking platform that understands the importance of UX design. The company's new website features intuitive search functionality, clear navigation menus, and personalized recommendations. Users can book flights, hotels, and activities with just a few clicks. Since upgrading their old website, TravelEase has seen a significant increase in conversions, customer satisfaction, and repeat business. TravelEase is an example of how investing in UX design pays off. The business enjoys benefits like higher conversion rates, increased customer loyalty, and a stronger brand reputation. Why? Because TravelEase gave its customers convenience, efficiency, and the peace of mind that comes with using a well-designed platform. Our final example is TechRush, a tech startup that prioritizes quick development over usability. In their latest offering, they rushed to release new features and updates without thoroughly testing how they'd impact the user experience. As a result, their app is riddled with bugs, crashes often, and has several usability issues. The company's end users are frustrated and disillusioned, which led to negative reviews, high churn rates, and their brand reputation also took a serious hit. However, if TechRush were to prioritize UX design, future iteration could eliminate bugs, improve performance, and create a more intuitive user interface. This would lead to increased user satisfaction, higher retention rates, and ultimately, a more positive brand perception. Plus, their users would benefit from a smoother, more reliable software experience, allowing them to accomplish security tasks efficiently and without frustration. As you can see, UX design isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a must-have for businesses that want to thrive in today's marketplace. By prioritizing user experience, businesses can increase conversions, improve customer satisfaction, and foster brand loyalty. The benefits are just as significant for users in terms of efficient task completion, intuitive interfaces, and reduced frustration. Welcome to the next milestone in your journey to becoming a UX designer. This time around, we'll explore a poorly designed mobile app to see how UX design influences the user's experience. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify design elements that can frustrate users and talk about how UX designers can improve the user's experience. Let's get started. Set your UX design hat aside for a moment and imagine you're a typical end user who's excited to try out a new mobile app called FitTrack, designed to help people monitor their fitness regimen's goals and progress. You head to the park, stretch, and open the app to get started. And you plop down on the nearest bench. The app's instructions are confusing, and you have trouble figuring out the navigation. You don't know where to go or how to get there. This app needs help, and so do its users. It's time to put on the UX designer hat again. The first thing you need to do is identify the problem, or problems in this case. Once you do that, you have to figure out how best to fix the issues and make the app user-friendly. Let's start with the most obvious issue: navigation. FitTrack's navigation is a tangled web of user frustration. There are multiple menus, submenus, and hidden features, meaning there's no clear indication of how to accomplish basic tasks like logging a workout or setting a goal. If you were the UX designer for this app, you'd most likely begin by mapping the expected user journeys and preferences. Once you know where they should be going, you can organize the app content logically, using clear labels and icons to point the way for the user to explore the basics and discover the extras. Good UX designers typically conduct usability testing, which is monitoring how users interact with the app, site, or software. This helps designers identify pain points and areas of confusion within a navigation structure. By using insights from real users, they can iterate on the design, simplifying menus, streamlining navigation paths, and adding concision so users have the most direct path to find what they need when they need it. Once you've made sense of the navigation, the next order of business would most likely be uncluttering the interface. On FitTrack's interface, a barrage of features, charts, and notifications compete for the user's attention. It's information overload, without a clear way forward. It's an overwhelming and frustrating user experience, to say the least. This is where a UX designer would conduct usability testing to identify areas of cognitive overload and potential distractions. That would enable you to streamline the interface and remove unnecessary clutter. Then you can prioritize essential features like workout logging and progress tracking. You'd also add more white space to create visual breathing room, keeping the interface clear so users can focus on each task without interruption or distraction. Decluttering the interface and introducing clarity and simplicity would make the FitTrack app significantly more user-friendly. Since this is an app users operate on the go, you'd probably want to add sound to the buttons on the interface. This injects life into the user's interactions and assures them that the app is responding to their commands. Depending on the activity, you might also add immediate feedback with animations, confirmation messages, and progress indicators. This way, each tap and swipe gives users reassuring signals to guide them on their fitness journey with confidence. Interaction and feedback is another area where UX designers would conduct user testing, so they can see how users interact with the app and identify areas where feedback is and isn't needed. Insights from real-world usage enables you to create and implement responsive design elements that provide clear feedback for every action for a seamless and intuitive experience. Another issue with FitTrack is that each screen feels like a world unto itself, which is disorienting for users. As a good UX designer, you'll want to establish a unified design with standardized elements and interaction patterns. A consistent design helps users easily transition between screens and interactions within the app so that the user experience feels seamless and intuitive from start to finish. Now let's take an even closer look at the app and all its potential users. For example, based on the issues we talked about so far, how useful and accessible would FitTrack be for users with disabilities? In addition to being technically skilled, UX designers also have a responsibility to make sure their design is accessible for everyone. This includes adhering to accessibility guidelines like alternative text for images, screen reader compatibility, and keyboard navigation. After all, every individual should be able to achieve their fitness goals. I hope that discussing a poorly designed app like we did here gives you a clear picture of the importance and power of UX design. That's a future you can look forward to.
Hello, and welcome to Building a Seamless User Journey. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify good UX design practices that contribute to a smooth and efficient user journey. These include clear navigation, intuitive layout, and informative messages. Meet Sarah and her best friend Max. Sarah loves spoiling Max with new toys and treats. Her favorite place to shop for him is the online pet store Paws and Play. Today, Sarah is excited to order some goodies for Max from Paws and Play. Let's follow along as she enjoys a seamless shopping experience thanks to intuitive, user-friendly UX design practices. Sarah starts her journey by using the clear navigation menu at the top of the page. It's easy to find sections like toys and food, thanks to the intuitive layout.
Max, would you like a new toy? Whoa, so many options. You will love these.
Sarah clicks on a toy to learn more. She appreciates the detailed product descriptions that help her understand each item's features and benefits. Sarah adds the toy to her cart with just a click of a button. The website provides clear feedback, confirming that the item has been successfully added. Now it's time to check out. Sarah could fill out her shipping and payment information in a simple and user-friendly form. But Sarah has an account at Pause and Play, so she will log in. Only...
What was my password again?
Uh-oh, looks like Sarah forgot her password. But no worries. The website offers a link so she can reset it. With her password reset, Sarah completes her purchase with ease. Thanks to the website's user-friendly design and informative messages, Sarah's shopping experience was smooth and efficient. And there you have it, a seamless journey from browsing to checkout, all thanks to good UX design practices of the Pause and Play web designers. Remember, whether you're shopping for pet supplies or anything else online, clear navigation, intuitive layout, and informative feedback are key to an awesome user experience.
Welcome back. This time around, we're going to examine how the core principles of UX design, such as usability, accessibility, and information architecture, can affect and enhance the user experience. By the end of this video, you'll be able to define usability, accessibility, and information architecture, as well as explain how these principles impact the user experience. You ready? Well, then let's get into it. We'll start with usability. Usability measures how efficiently and effectively users can navigate and use a product, app, or application to achieve their goals. Basically, it's about making sure that what you're designing is easy for users to use. This includes elements like clear and direct navigation, well-labeled buttons, and organized menus and search filters. For example, if you were using the Abercrombie & Fitch website, usability would allow you to effortlessly move from one section to another, similar to how you'd browse through their store. Abercrombie & Fitch uses an intuitive interface design to address usability. The site is usable because it's designed so that the buttons are where the users expect them to be, and everything flows seamlessly from one screen to the next. It's easy for users to understand and interact with. Another example would be the Fit Buddy we talked about last time. We walked through the changes needed to make the app more usable and intuitive so that users can track their fitness goals. The redesigned interface allows users to easily log their workouts, monitor their progress, and even connect with friends for extra motivation. Usability in UX design is synonymous with efficiency. If a site, app, or software package is usable, you should be able to accomplish your goals quickly because the interface provides a clear and direct path between you and meeting your goals. Usability for a website also includes what's known as responsive design, which improves the user experience by making sure the website application will work the same way on different devices and window sizes. Now let's spend a few moments on the principle of accessibility, which Design Lab defines as making products and services that work for anyone, regardless of their background or circumstances. Accessibility in UX design is all about creating sites, apps, and software that can be used and understood by everyone equally, including individuals with disabilities. Accessibility in design is really making everyone feel like they can navigate through the interface quickly and easily. For example, if a user has a visual impairment, accessibility means using alt text to describe images for their text reading software. Providing descriptive text for images allows these users to take in and understand the content, which helps them feel included. For users who rely on keyboards instead of mice or touchscreens, having keyboard shortcuts can make all the difference. It's like giving them their own personalized roadmap through the interface. For example, EcoMart is an online marketplace that champions accessibility. Using features like alternative text for product images and seamless keyboard navigation, users with disabilities can browse, shop, and check out without any barriers. Another aspect of accessibility is contrast. Using color contrast between the text and the background draws attention to the text and makes it easier to read and understand the content on the app, site, or software application. The last core principle we'll talk about in this video is information architecture, or IA, which is a visual representation of the features, hierarchy, and infrastructure that defines the paths users can take through a website or app. Information architecture is like the blueprint for your UX design. It's how you organize and structure the content, which is the foundation for seamless navigation and content discovery. There are a number of ways to do this. The first is clear categorization, which is simply organizing content into logical categories so that users can quickly find what they're looking for. These categories can also be used as search filters. The second way to structure content in your IA is called hierarchical organization. Hierarchical organization is a method for processing information, navigating an interface, and completing tasks through the intentional arrangement, order, and prioritization of that information. Your information architecture should have a clear hierarchy, with broader categories branching into more specific subcategories to guide users from general topics to more detailed information. An example of this would be Wanderlust, a travel website that features clear categories of destinations, intuitive menus, and hierarchical organization of travel plans, so users can effortlessly navigate the specifics of their vacations without getting lost in a sea of information. The final way to structure content is through intuitive labeling. Labels in your interface should be clear, concise, and easy to understand. Whether it's a menu item or a button, intuitive labeling helps users know exactly where they're going and what to expect. As a UX designer, you'll use the core principles of usability, accessibility, and information architecture to create sites, apps, and software that both accomplish their purpose and provide a positive user experience. Until next time.
Welcome back. We're about ready to wrap up this module, so let's review what we covered. By the end of this video, you'll be able to identify key points of the module and connect these key points to entry-level UX designer career development. In this module, we entered the realm of user experience design, where every click, tap, and swipe matters. We defined user experience design as the art of crafting intuitive, seamless digital experiences that leave users feeling empowered. We talked about human-centered design. It's not just about pretty pixels, it's about putting people first and solving their problems. The core principles of human-centered design are guides to creating digital experiences that make users smile, click, and keep coming back for more. We uncovered the secret sauce behind UX design, its value proposition. Creating user-friendly, efficient experiences isn't just a bonus, it's the heart of what we do. And who are the heroes behind the screens? That's right, the user experience designers. UX designers wear many hats. They're part detective, part artist, and part magician. They use all of their skills to weave simplicity, clarity, and accessibility into every pixel. UX design includes research into user behavior and preferences, which allows us to make informed design decisions. The visual UI designer brings our designs to life. A content strategist makes sure that our messages resonate with our users, and all along, the UX designer watches over the entire user experience to be sure that every element of the design works together seamlessly. Last but not least, we explored how design can sway behavior, guiding users like a compass through digital landscapes. This module was packed with concepts and insights, but it was just your first step into the world of user experience and interface design. So, until next time, keep designing, keep innovating, and remember, the journey to exceptional UX design is just getting started. Welcome, aspiring UX designers, to this module, Roles in a UX Design Team. This video will outline what you can expect in this module as you get ready to embark on an exhilarating journey through the dynamic world of UX roles and responsibilities. Have you ever wondered what it's like to walk in the shoes of a UX designer? If you're taking this course, you probably have. So, let's take a peek into the life of a UX designer. UX design work is as diverse as the designs they create. It can range from conducting user interviews to crafting wireframes and prototypes. But a UX designer might not focus on every single task in the design process. Successful UX teams include people who collaborate to do their best work. Team members work on different tasks, interact with colleagues, and use a variety of tools in their jobs. In this module, you'll discover the various roles and disciplines that come together to create magic. From UX researchers uncovering user insights to UX designers bringing ideas to life, each role plays a vital part in crafting exceptional user experiences. By the end of this module, you'll be able to differentiate between the roles of members of a UX design team. But perhaps more importantly, you'll gain clarity on which aspect of UX design resonates with you the most. As you discover the various aspects of UX design, you can begin to discover which roles you have a passion for. But it's not just about the destination, it's about the journey. Are you ready to explore the world of UX roles and discover where you belong? Let's buckle up and dive into the fascinating world of UX design.
Hey there! Welcome to a day in the life of a UX designer. By the end of this video, you'll be able to name some of the tasks of a UX designer and identify some of the tools used by a UX design team. I'm a UX designer, and I'm excited to show you what it's like behind the scenes. Let's get going. First things first, a cup of coffee and a quick catch-up with my amazing team. We're kicking off a new project today, so everyone is excited, and our daily video call is pretty lively. Time to check my emails and prioritize tasks for the day. Looks like user research is top priority for our new productivity tool. We want our designs to be user-friendly, so understanding our users' needs is a top priority. I use a web-based application to design surveys and share them with users. This makes it a breeze to gather user feedback. After the data is gathered, it's time to take a deep dive into it. Data visualization tools help us make sense of complex data. These tools can handle raw data and transform it into interactive visuals. These visuals help us identify key insights that drive our design decisions. Time to share our discoveries with the team. I use an app that lets me create dynamic presentations with interactive data visualizations. It allows me to tell a story with the data, and then my team can interact with it to discover their own insights. Whiteboard sessions are where the team can collaborate, and that's when the magic happens. We sketch out ideas and iterate on designs together. Usability testing is crucial for refining our designs. For this, we create a prototype of the new app. Figma is a fantastic tool for prototyping, and with this plugin, we can seamlessly integrate it into our workflow. We use prototypes to conduct tests and collaborate with stakeholders. Presenting our findings is just as important as gathering them. Microsoft PowerPoint helps us communicate our insights effectively, which supports the team's decision-making process. Continuous learning is key to staying ahead in this field. Courses like this one provide invaluable resources for sharpening our skills. Being a UX designer isn't just a job, it's a passion. We're shaping the future of digital experiences and empowering users worldwide. Thanks for spending the day with me.
Welcome back. By now you're likely wondering, what's it really like being a UX designer? It's a fair question, so this time around, we'll take a look at the rewards, challenges, and the occasional twists that make up the daily life of a UX designer. By the end of this video, you'll be able to talk about the rewards and challenges and describe the realities of the UX designer role. Let me start by saying that while UX designers have the opportunity to create amazing experiences for users, we also face challenges like tight deadlines, juggling multiple projects, and navigating the sometimes conflicting feedback from stakeholders. The role requires striking a balance between your creative vision and the technical constraints of each project. And to be honest, it isn't always the easiest thing in the world. One of the most important skills you can develop to handle the challenges that come with the job is to communicate clearly and purposefully. Whether it's explaining design decisions to stakeholders or collaborating with developers to bring your vision to life, effective communication is key. A big part of that involves managing expectations, yours and the expectations of your clients and team members. It's important that everyone is always on the same page. That's what sets the great UX designers apart. Obviously, UX design is more than making pretty visuals. Let's talk about what happens beyond the mockups. At the heart of a good UX designer is a deep understanding of your users. That's why user research, usability testing, and iterating on designs based on user feedback are absolutely vital. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about what looks good, it's about what works for the people who will be using the products you design. You can think of this part of the job as figuratively sitting down with the user and having a frank discussion of their needs, frustrations, and aspirations. Real user insights should always inform every one of your designs. You also have to share those insights and your observations about them with other teams working on the project, developers, content creators, and so on. Without good communication and teamwork, you simply can't bring your design concepts to life. In other words, UX designers do a lot of collaborating. But I'm sure you expected that to be true, so let's talk for a moment about some of the realities you might not have thought about. Let's start with tools. UX designers need to learn and become familiar with a number of tools that may be new to you. The UX design discipline is constantly evolving, which means not only learning tools like prototyping software and data analytics platforms, you'll need to stay updated on the latest upgrades and trends within the industry. Today's UX designers are continually having to learn and master design tools while keeping up to date with emerging technologies, because every technological advance should be looked at as an opportunity for growth. Continuous learning isn't a buzzword in UX design, it's your standard operating procedure. So it's important to always be curious and remember to keep an open mind. You never know what exciting challenges are coming. While it is challenging at times, it's important to keep in mind that every challenge is the stepping stone to more rewarding opportunities. So let's talk more about that. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine how it feels to solve a problem with the design you created. How to take your idea and craft a user experience that's not just visually stunning, but also deeply intuitive. Bringing a vision to life is not something many people can do, but a UX designer can. And it's those moments that remind us of the importance of what we do and the valuable service we provide. And sometimes it's simply the satisfaction of knowing that we've made a positive impact on someone else's experience. That's on top of the joy of seeing your designs in use, tangible testaments that validate all your hard work and dedication. One of the best parts of being a UX designer is the problem-solving thrill of developing an effective design. Most people like the idea of solving puzzles, but in this career, you actually get to do it. Although you're doing the same types of things every day, no two projects are exactly alike. There are potentially new challenges that stretch your abilities and your creativity, enabling you to grow and achieve even more. Like I said in the beginning, UX design is a balancing act. Most designers are working on multiple projects at various stages of the process, each with its own set of goals and challenges. Collaborating with other equally passionate professionals is a reward in and of itself. So while there may be hurdles along the way, remember that each obstacle is an opportunity, and opportunities help you become even more creative. So, whether you're sketching wireframes, conducting user research, or collaborating with cross-functional teams, always keep in mind the important part you play in creating meaningful and impactful experiences for users and stakeholders. Next time, we'll talk about the types of UX design roles. See you then.
Welcome to the UX Orchestra, where the magic of user experience comes to life. By the end of this video, you'll be able to recognize, at a high level, the roles of UX designer, UX researcher, UI designer, visual designer, and content strategist. Just like in a symphony orchestra, each member of the UX design team plays a crucial role in creating harmony and delight for our audience, or in this case, our users. Meet our conductor, the UX designer. Like the conductor guides the orchestra, the UX designer orchestrates the entire user experience, ensuring that every element works together seamlessly to create a masterpiece. From conceptualization to execution, the UX designer is responsible for setting the vision and direction of the user experience, collaborating with other team members to bring it to fruition. Here we have our violinist, the UX researcher. Much like the way a violinist explores different melodies, the UX researcher delves deep into user behavior and preferences, uncovering insights that inform our design decisions. Through user interviews, surveys, and usability testing, the UX researcher provides valuable data and insights that help us understand our users' needs and preferences, ensuring that our designs are intuitive and user-friendly. Now, let's meet our clarinetist, the visual UI designer. With their keen eye for detail and aesthetics, the visual UI designer brings our designs to life, ensuring that every pixel is perfect and every color harmonizes beautifully. Using tools like Figma, the visual UI designer creates wireframes, mock-ups, and prototypes that translate our ideas into visually stunning designs, keeping the user at the center of every decision. Last but not least, our cellist, the content strategist. Just as the cellist sets the rhythm and tone of the music, the content strategist crafts compelling narratives and messages that resonate with our users, ensuring that every word sings in perfect harmony with the design. Through content audits, tone of voice guidelines, and content mapping, the content strategist ensures that our content is clear, concise, and meaningful, enhancing the overall user experience. And there you have it, our UX orchestra in action, creating delightful experiences that leave our users wanting more. So, the next time you encounter a seamless and enjoyable user experience, remember the talented designers behind it. Until next time, keep harmonizing those user experiences.
Welcome back. This time we're going to spend some time exploring UX design roles, job titles, and responsibilities. By the end of this video, you will be able to define the roles related to entry-level UX design job titles and describe the typical responsibilities of each title. An entry-level UX design professional can go in one of three basic directions: UX designer, UXUI designer, or junior UX researcher. Let's take a closer look at each one of these, and while we do, keep in mind that some companies might call these roles something different, but the skills and responsibilities will typically be the same. Let's start with entry-level UX designer. Being a UX designer is all about understanding users. You'll rely on user research to identify and understand their wants, needs, and frustrations. You'll take those insights and address them in your designs using wireframes, prototypes, and user flows. Then, you'll test those designs on users to make sure they work and that they address the user's wants and needs. If they don't, you'll adjust and iterate them until they do. You might report to a senior UX designer, a UX lead, a UX manager, or a product manager. In some cases, especially in smaller organizations or startups, you might report directly to the CEO or another executive responsible for product development. Analytical skills are a key to success in this role. You'll need to work with a lot of data, so being able to make sense of it and draw insights from it is crucial. You'll also need to become proficient with design tools like Sketch or Figma to create wireframes and prototypes as you flesh out your designs. Most importantly, a UX designer should be a people person. Communication and collaboration with developers and other team members are essential to create UX designs and interfaces that bridge the gap between users, design elements, and functionality. Now, let's talk about the UX/UI designer role. If the UX designer is the architect who plans the house, the UI designer is the professional who makes it look amazing. That's an important distinction since a number of companies separate UX/UI designer into two separate roles: UX for structural design, UI for visual design. As a UX/UI designer, or simply a UI designer, your primary focus is on the way the user interface contributes to the user experience. Your responsibilities typically include crafting intuitive user interfaces, designing eye-catching layouts, and making sure the navigation flows seamlessly. And you always need to keep the user's needs front and center. Job postings might list requirements like wireframing, prototyping, and user testing, which illustrate that this role reconciles user experience with visual design for more cohesive and captivating websites, apps, or software. In other words, you'll collaborate closely with UX designers to make sure the interface design aligns with the overall user experience. Entry-level UX/UI designers may report to a senior UX/UI designer, a UX/UI lead, a UX/UI manager, or directly to a product manager. In companies where there are separate teams or departments for UX and UI design, you might report to both a senior UX designer and a senior UI designer, or to a combined UX/UI lead or manager. To succeed here, you need a keen eye for design and an understanding of typography, color theory, and layout principles. Although analytics aren't your primary focus, you will need to develop your analytical skills to translate research data into meaningful visual solutions. Most importantly, you've got to be adaptable, which means staying up to date with the latest design trends, tools, and technologies. In a nutshell, your job is to combine form and function so that they work together seamlessly. Finally, let's take a look at an entry-level career in research as a junior UX researcher. This job is all about understanding users on a deep level. You uncover the insights that shape design decisions. You'll conduct user interviews, create surveys, and oversee usability tests to gather data from target users. Then analyze that data, looking for patterns and insights that'll inform the design process. Job postings for this role list requirements like qualitative and quantitative research skills, data analysis, and report writing. These are the necessary skills for gathering data, uncovering insights, and sharing information to guide design and content decisions. To succeed, you need to be curious, to dig deep, ask the right questions, and uncover insights. You'll also need strong analytical skills to interpret data and draw meaningful conclusions. Finally, you'll need good written and oral communication skills, since you'll often have to present your findings to teams or stakeholders. Those are options you might want to think about as you move forward. Until next time. Welcome to the next step in your UX journey. In this video, we're going to talk about how different members of a project team contribute to a UX design. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify some of the different roles in a project and describe how they collaborate to create a positive user experience. Let's see who's who and how they contribute to the product's design. Let's say you're the UX designer on a project team assembled to design a mobile app for the Art Haven Museum. The goal of the app is to enhance visitors' experiences by enabling them to virtually engage with the exhibits. As the UX designer, your primary focus is to craft an intuitive and user-friendly interface that will guide visitors through the app's features and content. Specifically, you will need to map out the user's journey through the app, including signing in, viewing upcoming exhibits, searching for specific artwork, and connecting with a museum representative if they need further assistance. The Art Haven Museum app project team includes a UX researcher. That individual's role is to discover and understand the visitor user's needs and preferences through research and analysis. For this project, the UX researcher conducted user interviews to understand how people typically interact with museum apps and what features they find most valuable. Several of the users interviewed reported that the layouts for similar apps were often confusing, and it was challenging to navigate the content efficiently. Using the information and insights from these interviews, your team and the researcher brainstormed the most efficient way to address the specific needs and pain points that were identified to make sure the app you are creating has a navigation system that's intuitive and user-friendly. The visual UI designer for the project will work to enhance the user experience, addressing the research insights by designing a clear, visually appealing app interface, Specifically, this person will create wireframes for the app that focus on the layout and placement of key navigation elements to prioritize clear and intuitive navigation. So it will be easy for users to explore the museum's exhibits and access relevant information effortlessly. The wireframes will likely go through several iterations before the project is finished. The content strategist's role on this project is to craft engaging, informative text and images that integrate into the design and layout and enhance the overall user experience. This person will work on elements like creating clear and concise labels, descriptions, and other text elements. It's essential that users can easily understand and navigate through the information provided for exhibits, events, and even museum history. The content strategist will also make sure the app's content strategy is aligned with the user needs identified in the research, so the information is presented in valuable and easily digestible chunks for the users. Content is a key aspect of the collaboration between design and content to make sure the museum app delivers a cohesive and enriching experience for visitors. Collaboration is the heart of any project's design process. Throughout the project, every team member will provide feedback and insights on each other's work. For example, when you conduct usability testing for the alpha and beta versions of the app, the users will provide valuable observations and feedback. Your UX researcher will share their findings with the rest of the team. This collaborative approach allows every team member to identify areas for improvement in their respective disciplines. You'll iterate through changes to the various aspects of the app's content and design based on the user feedback. By working together and leveraging each team member's expertise, you can feel confident that the app meets the needs and expectations of your target audience. For example, if users found the navigation menu confusing or difficult to use, the visual UI designer can look into different solutions to make it more intuitive and user-friendly. This might involve adjusting the placement of certain navigation elements, redesigning icons for clarity, or changing the text color to improve readability. In addition to design changes, the content strategist will adjust the wording and content on specific screens to make sure the information is clear and understandable, increasing comprehension for users. This could include rewriting certain text to be more concise and straightforward, and checking that all the labels and descriptions in the app are consistent and aligned with user expectations the team identified. I hope that this opportunity to walk through a fairly typical UX design project at a high level gave you a little more insight into how various UX disciplines collaborate to create a user experience. Later, you'll be able to take a closer look into each of these disciplines and get an even better idea of their contributions and how they align on a project. Welcome back. This time around, we're going to focus our attention on the dynamics of working with other people to create a UX design project. By the end of this video, you will be able to define what collaboration is, explain why it's important for creating good UX designs, and identify strategies for successful collaboration. Ready to work with me to learn more about this? Then let's go. Let's say you're part of the team tasked with creating the next groundbreaking fitness app. No pressure, right? You and your team have spent countless hours brainstorming ideas, sketching wireframes, and whiteboarding interface designs. You're all excited about the app's potential to change how people look at fitness and wellness. So, you start asking yourself some basic user experience questions, like, how will users track their progress? What features will keep them engaged and motivated? How can we make the app accessible and inclusive for all users, regardless of their fitness levels or abilities? They're good questions, but you might not be able to answer them on your own. That's where collaboration comes in. Collaboration is simply the process of working with someone to achieve a goal. To bring the vision of this app to life, you're going to need the expertise and insights of a diverse team. UX researchers to uncover valuable user insights and preferences. Visual and UI designers to give your ideas the right visual representation. Content strategists to craft clear, compelling text and information. And developers to bring it all together into a seamless and functional product. That's a lot of different people you'll need to work with. So we should probably explore some strategies to make sure your collaborations are successful. The most important strategy is clear and open communication. which is essential for effective collaboration. Everyone on your team should feel comfortable sharing ideas, providing feedback, and asking questions throughout the design process. You should also schedule regular check-ins and updates to help keep everyone on the same page and be sure goals are aligned. There are a number of tools and techniques teams like yours can use to collaborate effectively, including Microsoft Teams, Microsoft Project, Jira, and visualization apps like Miro, Mural, and Figma. Online tools and platforms like these can be used to facilitate communication and collaboration, even when team members are working remotely. For instance, virtual whiteboards allow real-time brainstorming and idea sharing, while project management platforms help track tasks, deadlines, and progress. Another important collaboration strategy is to schedule routine meetings to discuss project progress, share updates, and address any challenges or roadblocks. Meetings like these allow team members to voice their opinions, ask questions, and work together to come up with solutions. Organize workshops and brainstorming sessions to generate ideas, explore solutions, and foster creativity as a team. These sessions encourage collaboration, innovation, and cross-disciplinary thinking, resulting in more robust design solutions. Using these communication techniques and collaboration strategies, UX teams can work together more effectively, resulting in successful and impactful design outcomes. But collaboration isn't always smooth sailing. So let's address some common challenges you and your team might encounter and see how they can be overcome. One challenge that often comes up is differing viewpoints. Team members can have different perspectives or opinions on how to approach a problem or design solution. To help overcome this challenge, you need to encourage respectful discussion and active listening among team members, as well as reviewing your user information. By openly sharing ideas, information, and perspectives, teams can bridge gaps and arrive at a solution that's good for the team and the project. Another common challenge is conflicting priorities. Different team members may have different priorities or objectives, which can lead to conflicts or disagreements. To mitigate this challenge, it's important to establish clear goals and processes from the outset. Aligning everyone's priorities and clarifying roles and responsibilities allows teams to work together more effectively. Miscommunication can also be a challenge, especially when team members are working remotely or across different locations. If there's a communication breakdown, it can lead to misunderstandings or even design errors. To keep this from happening or getting worse, teams should use clear communication methods and documentation to make sure communication is concise, transparent, and well documented. This helps keep everyone informed and aligned. By addressing these common challenges proactively and implementing solutions to foster effective communication and collaboration, UX teams can navigate the complexities of collaborative design projects with greater success and achieve their shared goals. Collaboration is the cornerstone of successful UX design projects. It's essential. By working together, teams can take advantage of the diverse skills, perspectives, and expertise of each member. Collaboration really is the key to creating better user experiences and more impactful products. See you next time.
Hey there, welcome back. By the end of this Roles on a UX Design Team wrap-up video, you'll be able to identify key points of the module and connect these key points to entry-level UX designer career development. We've reached the end of the module, so let's join our young UX designer for a quick recap of what you've learned about the roles on a UX team. We first examined a day in the life of a UX designer. From conducting user research to prototyping and testing designs, our UX designer friend has been hard at work. Next, we identified entry-level job responsibilities. You learned about the importance of clear communication, collaboration, and problem-solving skills in this role. Then, we differentiated common roles and disciplines on a UX team. You discovered the unique contributions that UX designers, UX researchers, visual designers, and content strategists play in creating a seamless user experience. Moving on, we defined how different UX disciplines contribute to creating a great user experience. Each role in the UX team brings a valuable perspective to the table, ultimately enhancing the overall design process. And we assessed the different aspects of various UX design roles. This was a chance to start reflecting on your strengths and interests, and to imagine which of the various roles you will explore to find your perfect fit. And there you have it. You've made great strides in understanding the roles on a UX team and how they contribute to creating exceptional user experiences. Keep up the fantastic work, and remember, the world of UX design is full of endless possibilities. Until next time.
Welcome to Frameworks and Process Design Thinking. This video will outline what you can expect in this module. In this module, you will explore design thinking, which is a popular framework used in UX design. You'll look at the stages of design thinking and how they're applied to solve user-centered design problems.
This app is a disaster. I can't find what I'm looking for, and these buttons are all over the place.
Hey there! Are you having trouble navigating that app?
Perfect timing. This app is driving me crazy.
Don't worry, that's exactly what UX designers like us aim to prevent. In this module, you'll learn a powerful approach called design thinking that helps us create user-friendly apps and experiences.
How does this relate to UX design?
Think of this as a user's journey through an app. There are many ways they could go, but right now some of those lead to frustration, while others lead to success and finding what they need.
This is just like that app. I keep getting lost.
I think you've taken your first step in design thinking. The first step of design thinking is to empathize with the user. We need to understand their needs and goals. Why are they using the app? What are they trying to achieve?
Well, I definitely empathize with the user's pain points with this frustrating app. Now what?
Now you'll define the problem, taking all of your research and framing human-centered problem statements.
Well, I'm a human who wants a clear path through this app.
Then the next step is to ideate. Come up with a range of creative ideas to improve the user's experience.
I'm going to really like this part.
Yep, this is where your creativity can run wild. Then you'll use techniques including wireframing and prototyping to create mock-ups of your app. This helps us test different layouts and features with real users and see if they work.
Wow, by using design thinking, we can turn this confusing app into a user-friendly experience.
Exactly. That's the power of design thinking in UX design. It allows us to create solutions that are not just pretty, but also intuitive and meet the needs of real people.
I'm excited to learn more about design thinking.
Then you're ready. This module is packed with practical knowledge and exercises to equip you with the skills you need to succeed.
Welcome back, and welcome to Module 3. This time around, we're going to begin our exploration of UX design frameworks. By the end of this video, you will be able to define what frameworks are, explain their role in UX design, describe some common frameworks used in the field, and briefly discuss the benefits and limitations of using frameworks. Let's get started. Let's start with the most basic question. What are UX frameworks? Frameworks are defined as a structured approach designers follow to create consistent and user-friendly digital products, websites, or applications. I know that sounds a bit vague, so think of it like you were building a shelf. You buy a shelf kit, which includes instructions, steps, hardware, and tools. Now, you could purchase the parts and tools on your own and figure out how to build a shelf, but the kit, or framework, does a lot of the work for you. It makes the process clearer and quicker and easier to tackle. In the same way, frameworks give you a basic structure, but you can still add your own creative flourishes. In UX design, frameworks are used to guide you through the design process, helping you create user-friendly and visually appealing experiences for websites, apps, and other digital products. There are a number of UX design frameworks available, and each one has its own strengths. In this video, we'll look at 4 of the most common frameworks you might encounter. Framework 1, Design Thinking. This framework encourages you to empathize with the users, define the problems they might face, brainstorm creative solutions, build prototypes of those ideas like intuitive mockups, and then test them with your target users. The Design Thinking framework helps you focus on designing something users need and will enjoy using. Framework 2, User-Centered Design, UCD. Like the design thinking framework, UCD puts the user front and center. It emphasizes understanding user needs, behaviors, and goals through each step of the design process. UCD helps you design to the user's wants and needs, rather than hoping we meet them. Framework 3, Lean UX. The Lean framework is all about efficiency, like a design sprint. It's a more iterative approach aimed at creating quick prototypes and getting user feedback as early and often as possible. This enables you to identify and fix problems early on, before you invest too much time and effort creating something that might not fit the bill. Framework 4, Double Diamond. This is an outcome-based framework for identifying problems and developing solutions. It encourages creativity and innovation while focusing on potential issues and their impact on end users. It has a research and define phase, the first diamond, for gathering information and understanding the problem. Then comes the ideate and prototype phase, the second diamond, for brainstorming solutions and building mock-ups. The double diamond reminds you to constantly refine our ideas based on what we learn from users. These are just a few of the many frameworks available. The best one to use for a project depends on the specific goals and user needs. But no matter which framework you choose, remember they're tools, not replacements for creative thinking. Which begs the question, why use frameworks at all? The answer can be found in the following benefits. First, they help you stay organized and on track. Frameworks provide a clear roadmap to follow, which can be especially helpful for new designers. They also keep you moving forward without getting lost in the design process. Another benefit is communication. Frameworks give you a common language to talk about a design with your team, so everyone can discuss the project and the design process using the same terms. Third, and maybe the most important, frameworks can help you identify potential problems early on, saving you time, money, and frustration. But frameworks also have limitations. For instance, frameworks can potentially stifle your creativity. If you have a brilliant idea that breaks the mold, go for it. The best solutions often come from thinking outside the box. In addition, frameworks are great, but they can't replace talking to real users. You still need to rely on research insights to understand their needs and frustrations so you can design to them. And finally, the perfect framework for one project might not be the best for another. One size does not fit all, so be flexible and choose the tool that best suits each job. Throughout the rest of this course, we'll be focusing mostly on the design thinking framework because of its emphasis on user-centered design and its adaptability. But we'll also introduce you to other popular frameworks along the way to help you build your UX design toolset. Remember, frameworks are helpful tools, but always use them alongside, not instead of, your creativity and user research. See you next time! Welcome to Part 3 of Applying the UCD Framework. In Parts 1 and 2, we explored the research and design stages, laying the foundation for crafting a user-centered mobile app. In this video, we'll examine the stages of prototyping, testing, and iterating, stages that are at the heart of refining your design to be user-friendly and successful. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify the prototyping, testing, and iterating stages of the UCD framework and explain what happens at each of these stages, along with examples and potential solutions. Let's start with the prototype stage. Prototyping is the process of building a version of a website, app, or software interface to test ideas and functionality in the design. The prototyping stage is where UX designers turn their design concepts from ideas into tangible models. There will typically be several prototypes created during the design process to work through functionality and the user experience. Prototypes can either be low fidelity or high fidelity. Low-fidelity prototypes are essentially basic sketches or mock-ups, often created with pen and paper. They focus on core functionality and user flow without getting hung up on the aesthetic. They're quick and easy to create, making them ideal for early-stage testing and validating against user needs. High-fidelity prototypes are more polished and interactive versions of your design. They're created using design tools like Figma or Sketch, and often incorporate features like clickable buttons and realistic visuals. They take more time to develop. High-fidelity prototypes are created for usability testing and to gather feedback on the overall user experience. Once a prototype is created, you move into the testing phase of the UCD framework. In other words, you need to put your prototype to the test to see how users react to it. This is called user testing and involves observing real people as they interact with your prototype and gathering their feedback. As you know, user testing is an invaluable step in the design process, allowing you to identify potential usability issues and refine your design based on that and other user insights. Here are some tips for effective user testing sessions. Recruit a diverse group of users. Aim for people who represent your target audience. Create a realistic testing environment. Simulate a real-world scenario where users might interact with your app or website, such as a coffee shop for a bus stop app. Focus on observation. Watch the way users interact with the prototype and don't rely solely on the things they say. Pay attention to body language and facial expressions. Ask open-ended questions. You'll often need to encourage users to elaborate on their thoughts and experiences during the test. Focus on the task, not the solution. Don't ask leading questions or try to defend your design choices. The goal is to understand how users see and use your design, then identify and address any issues they encounter. This takes you to the final stage of the framework, iterating, often called the cycle of continuous improvement. Based on the results of user testing, you need to iterate on your design. This could involve anything from adjusting layout and button placement to adding new features or functionalities based on user suggestions. UCD is an iterative process. There's no one perfect way to design. Solid UX design means continuously refining your solution based on user feedback. Let's revisit our bus stop app scenario. Let's say you started by creating a low-fidelity prototype of the app's home screen, allowing users to view real-time arrival times for the bus stops they frequent. You've designated these as favorites. During user testing, you notice some users struggling to find the favorite section. This suggests that the layout might not be as intuitive as you thought it was. Based on this information, you iterate on your design, possibly by moving the favorite section to a more prominent location on the home screen. Using the UCD framework, you can create mobile apps that are both functional and user-centered. Always remember that users are the ultimate experts when it comes to their experience. By prioritizing user needs, conducting user research, and continuously refining your design based on user feedback, you can create an app that truly solves problems and provides value. Remember that it's not unusual to repeat these stages of the UCD framework multiple times before a project is finished. There are even times you may have to go back to the initial stages or even start over. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes that's what you need to do to truly meet the user's wants and needs. Let me just wrap this video up by reminding you that the UCD framework is a powerful and useful tool that can be applied to any website, app, or software design. See you next time.
Hey there, UX/UI enthusiast. Welcome to Design Thinking Explained. By the end of this video, you'll be able to explain the different stages of design thinking. Today, we're exploring design thinking, a powerful method used to craft amazing user experiences.
Design thinking? Tell me more.
We start with user needs. Let's say a rideshare app notices that customers have trouble using the service to pick up takeout food for them.
A lot of factors could cause that.
Definitely. Design thinking starts with the empathize stage. We conduct user interviews and listen to their stories to understand the details of their needs, wants, and frustrations.
We empathize with our users to identify pain points. That gives us a clearer vision of the problem we need to solve. Okay, users can order takeout from the app and have it delivered to their door, but they're getting lost in the app's navigation.
Which brings us to the define stage. We analyze information to refine this into a concise statement. We can define the rideshare app problem as create a smoother and more intuitive navigation flow. This focused problem statement will guide us through the next stages. Next, in the ideate stage, we use our creativity.
What if we added a breadcrumb trail? Or a visual map-like navigation?
Include all of your ideas, even wild ones. Collaborate with teammates to generate a range of possibilities, like new ways to choose a restaurant, order from the menu, and track a delivery.
What's next?
The prototype stage. We may use anything from paper sketches to digital mock-ups to visualize our solutions as functioning experiences.
Like a simple wireframe with a revamped navigation flow?
Yes. Then we incorporate the best ideas into low-fidelity prototypes. Low-fidelity prototypes are quick and easy to build, allowing us to test and adjust our ideas rapidly. Now it's time to test. We share our demo with real users and gather feedback. We conduct usability tests, observe how they interact with the prototypes, and collect insights.
They seem to like the breadcrumb trail, but maybe the map icons could be clearer for some users.
User feedback is golden. We identify what resonates and what needs refinement, then iterate on our prototypes based on this feedback. Design thinking is an iterative and human-centered process. We constantly learn, adapt, and refine our solutions. Feedback from rounds of tests will be used to iterate the design until we've created a user experience that's intuitive and visually appealing, and that truly resonates with user needs.
That's the power of design thinking.
So, get ready to learn how to apply design thinking in UX/UI design.
Welcome back! In this video, you get to explore design thinking and how it applies to UX and UI designers. By the end of this video, you will be able to explain the importance of design thinking in the UX/UI design process and how each stage of design thinking translates into practical UX/UI activities. Let's get started. As I'm sure you know, design thinking is a people-centered, cyclical approach to problem solving. In terms of UX and UI design, it's a 5-stage framework that revolves around our users' wants, needs, and pain points, and makes addressing them the focus of the design process. Let's take a closer look at each of these stages. Phase 1. Empathize. Empathy is the foundation of design thinking. Its focus is on understanding the user's needs and motivations, such as trying to determine what features of an app would be most helpful or meaningful to the target users. In UX/UI design, we translate empathy into activities like user research. This could involve conducting interviews, surveys, and observing how users interact with a prototype or similar product. When conducting user research, it's important to avoid leading questions. Instead, focus on open-ended questions that encourage people to share their honest thoughts and experiences. Once you gather this information, you can begin to build user personas, which are fictional characters that represent different types of users for the product your team is designing. Personas help everyone visualize who you're all designing for and what their goals and pain points might be. It's often helpful to think about and design for a persona than to create a design based on numerical data. Think of it this way: empathy is about people, not numbers. Phase 2. Define. People who do a lot of design thinking often call this phase sharpening your focus. It's a good nickname because once you've established a foundation of empathy through research, you can better define the problem you're trying to solve. This is the phase where the user insights come together. You'll use tools like a user journey map to visualize a person's entire experience, navigating through the site or app you're building. This can help you identify any roadblocks or frustrating issues a user might encounter. It can also help you envision features or information it would be helpful to add to the user's experience. Once you analyze your research and work through and refine your journey maps, you can put together a clear and concise problem statement. Problem statements act as guideposts for your design decisions, so you always remain focused on meeting the user's needs and creating a positive experience for them. Phase 3. Ideate. Now that you've defined the problem, the ideate stage is where you brainstorm to come up with solutions. It's where the team brings out all their ideas, no matter how ridiculous they might seem to be. The key is to encourage a collaborative and inclusive environment. Everyone's ideas and perspectives are valuable. In UX/UI design, brainstorming includes activities like sketching wireframe mockups to explore possible layouts and functionality of an interface. Brainstorming can lead to multiple design concepts to approach the problem. There's usually more than one way to solve a design challenge. Phase 4. Prototype. Once you have a bunch of promising ideas from the ideate phase, it's time to turn them into something tangible. Think of a prototype as a rough draft of your design. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be good enough to get the user feedback you'll need to make it perfect. UXUI designers typically create low-fidelity prototypes first. These range from sketches and wireframes to basic clickable representations of the interface so users can interact with basic functionality. This often leads to high-fidelity prototypes that are better, interactive representations of the final design. Prototypes help you gather user feedback early and often, so you can identify any usability issues and refine a design before investing a lot of time and effort. Phase 5, Test. I mentioned testing in the last phase because these last two phases are extremely interrelated. Testing is where you show your prototypes to users to see how they react. Tools like A/B testing and other usability testing methods are used to gather qualitative and quantitative feedback, in addition to surveys and user interviews. Testing helps validate our design decisions. Does the interface make sense? Are users able to complete their tasks easily? If not, you should step back and adjust the designs based on the testing feedback. Remember, design thinking is an iterative process. It's about working toward the best solution through continuous learning and improvement based on user feedback. Design thinking empowers UX designers to create user experiences that are effective and enjoyable, and it always starts with understanding your users.
Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into the world of design thinking, a powerful framework that UX/UI designers use to create solutions that people love. By the end of this video, you'll be able to identify the principles and stages of design thinking and analyze how design thinking can solve user and business problems. Imagine you're a UX designer for a cutting-edge grocery shopping app. Millions of busy professionals rely on it every day. But there's a nagging problem. People are struggling to efficiently plan their grocery trips and find affordable, healthy options that fit their busy schedules. Sounds familiar, right? This is a common challenge in the world of UX design. As users, we all want apps that are intuitive, easy to navigate, and meet our needs. That's where design thinking comes in. Think of this as the detective stage. We grab our magnifying glasses and put ourselves in the user's shoes. Here, we use techniques like user interviews, surveys, and even observing people using the app to gather clues. What are their frustrations? What are their goals? As an example, let's say we interview a busy professional named Alex. He tells us that he struggles to find time for meal planning and often ends up making unhealthy impulse purchases at the grocery store. This is a valuable insight. Now we take all those detective clues and put them together. We analyze the data we gathered from our users, identify our user needs, and define the core problem we're trying to solve. Based on our research, we might define the problem like this. Busy professionals need a grocery shopping app that helps them efficiently plan meals, find healthy options, and stick to their budget. This is the creative explosion stage. We brainstorm as many ideas as possible, no matter how crazy they may seem. Remember, the best solutions often come from unexpected places. Our brainstorming session might come up with ideas like a personalized meal planning feature, a barcode scanner for easy price comparison, or even virtual shopping assistants. Now, we turn those ideas into tangible prototypes. Think of them as rough sketches or mock-ups. They don't need to be perfect, but they should be enough to test with users and see if our ideas have potential. We could create a low-fidelity wireframe showing a simplified meal planning interface with drag-and-drop recipe suggestions. Or we could build a prototype of the barcode scanner to see if it's intuitive for users. This is where the rubber meets the road. We put our prototypes in front of real users and see how they interact with them. We watch, listen, and gather feedback on what works well and what needs improvement. Example: during testing, Alex might love the drag-and-drop recipe feature, but find the barcode scanner a bit overwhelming. This feedback is gold. Excellent work. Remember, design thinking is an iterative process. We take the feedback from testing, refine our prototypes, and test again. It's all about creating a user-centered solution that meets the needs of our audience. By following these steps, you'll be well on your way to becoming a UX/UI design rock star. This powerful framework allows you to solve real-world problems and create digital experiences that are not only visually appealing, but also intuitive and user-friendly. So the next time you encounter a design challenge, grab your design thinking toolkit and get ready to create something amazing. Thanks for continuing your journey through design thinking, and hopefully what you've learned has sparked your creativity and given you a solid foundation for tackling UX/UI design challenges.
Welcome back! In this video, we're going to talk about UX deliverables, what they are, what they do, and the role they play in the UX design process. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify essential UX deliverables, like wireframes and prototypes, and explain the purpose of each deliverable and its role in the design thinking process. So, let's get started. In the same way that architects and engineers need to develop blueprints for creating a building, UX deliverables are documents created throughout the design process to communicate ideas, concepts, and solutions. These deliverables serve an important purpose. They keep all of the various designers and developers on the same page as they work on the website, app, or software. They also help designers and project leads share progress with stakeholders like project managers and clients. UX deliverables translate ideas into clear, actionable roadmaps that align with the project's goal, which is creating a functional product that delivers a positive, intuitive user experience. There are several different UX deliverables that are typically used on a UX design project, such as wireframes, prototypes, user personas, journey maps and user flows, and style guides. Let's take a closer look at these deliverables. Let's start with wireframes. As you know, wireframes are like the skeletons of your design, low-fidelity representations that focus on the layout, structure, and organization of the app or site. These rough sketches help you visualize and refine the navigation and ideas before you and your team spend a lot of time working on the more visual aspects of the design. The beauty of wireframes is that they're quick and easy to create, which makes them ideal for exploring different design options and identifying potential usability issues early on. They're also an excellent tool for sharing with and gathering feedback from stakeholders. Getting stakeholder input before coding begins can significantly reduce costs and the number of revisions required later in the process. There are different types of wireframes. Sketchy wireframes, which are computer versions of the traditional hand-drawn sketches and napkin doodles to show off your initial design ideas. Digital wireframes, which allow you to arrange and rearrange the elements of a design on screen. Interactive wireframes, which are click-through models that simulate basic user journeys. Interactive wireframes are more commonly referred to as prototypes, the second in our list of UX deliverables. Prototypes take wireframes a step further by simulating the actual behavior and functionality of your design. Think of them as playable demos that allow users to interact with your interface before it's fully built. There are different types of prototypes, from low-fidelity paper prototypes where you simply draw the app screens on paper and connect them with arrows, to high-fidelity interactive prototypes that can feel like the finished product. The level of detail you choose depends on your project goals and where you are in the design process. Prototypes are great tools for usability testing because you can put them in front of people, observe how they interact with them, and gather feedback to help you validate your design decisions before development. While wireframes and prototypes are the UX deliverables that get the most attention, there are other deliverables that also play an important role, including user personas, which are fictional characters that represent your target audience. They help you keep user needs front and center as you design. Journey maps, which visualize how the users will navigate step by step to achieve specific goals. These help you identify pain points and potential navigation issues early on. User flows, which chart the specific sequence of actions users take to complete a task. Style guides, which are sets of rules for designing content that helps to maintain a consistent style, voice, and tone. These define things like typography, color palettes, and button styles. UX deliverables are also an important navigation tool. They help strengthen your designs and foster more cohesive teamwork, where each deliverable builds upon the last, leading you closer to the project goals. UX deliverables are an integral part of the design thinking process, which is all about iteration and continuous improvement. Each time you create a deliverable, you can use it to gather feedback, refine your design, and iterate until you have a solution that truly meets user needs. In addition, the right deliverable at the right time can save you lots of time and rework down the road. To summarize, UX deliverables are the building blocks of a successful design process. They help you communicate ideas clearly, collaborate effectively, and ultimately create better user experiences. Until next time!
Hey everyone, and welcome. Today's video is all about creating wireframes, a crucial step in the UX design process. We'll be diving into Figma, a popular design tool, to see how it helps us bring our design ideas to life. By the end of this video, you'll be able to describe the process of creating a wireframe using Figma. But before we jump in, let's talk about why wireframing matters. Think of an artist sketching a rough draft for a painting. Artists often start with quick sketches to plan the composition, layout, and proportions before adding details and colors. Wireframing is similar. It's like a basic sketch of your app or website, helping you plan the layout and user flow before diving into the fancy visuals. Throughout this program, Figma will be our go-to tool for creating wireframes that lets you brainstorm ideas, build layouts, and even add a touch of interactivity to your wireframes. While we'll be focusing on Figma's features today, remember that many other popular design tools offer similar functionalities to help you create effective wireframes. All right, let's explore the wireframe tool, Figma. Feel free to just watch or follow along on your own Figma account if you like. To create a new project in Figma, navigate to the dashboard and select Add a new design file. Here, you'll see options to choose the frame size, F on your keyboard. For wireframing, a basic desktop or mobile frame size would work well. Once you've chosen your frame size, select it within the frame panel. Now it's time to build your wireframe. Don't worry about fancy details yet. Focus on the core structure of your design. Figma has a ton of tools to help you create basic shapes and layouts. Use the rectangle and line tools to create the basic structure of your wireframe. R on your keyboard for rectangle and L on your keyboard for line. These shapes will represent the different sections and elements of your design. Use the text tool, T on your keyboard, to add placeholder text for headings, body copy, and other content. If you want to indicate the placement of images, use the rectangle tool, R, to create placeholders and label them accordingly. You can use frames to group related elements. For example, create a frame for your header, navigation bar, main content area, and footer. You can also give your frames descriptive names to keep your wireframe organized and easy to understand. Remember, the beauty of wireframes is their simplicity. We're focusing on functionality, not aesthetics. Think of it as a rough sketch on a napkin. It captures the essentials without focusing on details. Now take some time to refine your design. Use basic shapes and lines to represent buttons, icons, and other UI elements. Use the alignment tools to ensure proper spacing and alignment between elements. While a wireframe is primarily focused on structure, you can add simple styles like borders, fill colors, and font styles to enhance readability. One of Figma's strengths is collaboration. You can share your wireframe with teammates or clients for feedback. They can leave comments directly on the design, making it easy to iterate and improve your wireframe based on different perspectives. Here are some pro tips for creating effective wireframes. Organize elements logically. Group similar elements together to make your wireframe easy to understand. Use consistent terminology. Use the same terms for the same elements throughout your wireframe. Label components clearly. Add labels to buttons, menus, and other elements for clarity. Fidelity matters. Choose the level of detail, low, medium, or high fidelity, based on your project needs. Remember, wireframing is an iterative process. Get feedback, make adjustments, and keep refining your design until it's clear, intuitive, and user-friendly. By using Figma and these tips, you're well on your way to creating amazing user experiences.
Welcome to our Frameworks and Process Wrap-Up. By the end of this video, you'll be able to identify key points of the module and connect these key points to entry-level UX designer career development. Or should I say, by the end of this video call.
Hey, thanks for meeting. I just finished the module and wow, there's a lot to unpack.
You're welcome. This module covered some essential building blocks for UX design. I'd love to hear about what stuck with you.
Sure, we learned about frameworks like design thinking that guide the UX process. There are also different types of frameworks, right?
Absolutely. Frameworks provide structure and a common language for designers. Design thinking is a powerful one that emphasizes understanding users.
Exactly. We also learned the difference between UX design, human-centered design, and design thinking. It's all about focusing on the user experience, not just the technology.
Perfect. This user focus is what sets UX design apart. Now, let's talk about design thinking itself. Remember, it's a process with stages like empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test.
Yes, it's like a roadmap that helps us solve problems for users. We learned about deliverables too, things like wireframes and prototypes that help us visualize our ideas.
Excellent. Wireframes and low-fidelity prototypes are like early sketches that allow us to test and refine our designs before we invest a lot of time.
One thing that really clicked was how design thinking helps us uncover the real needs of users. They might say they want a faster app, but there's more to the story, right?
Absolutely. That's a key takeaway. Design thinking helps us go beyond surface requests and discover the underlying reasons behind them. Imagine user requests as the tip of an iceberg. They might say they want a faster app, but that's like the part of an iceberg that's easy to see above water. Design thinking helps us explore the hidden part, the user's deeper needs and motivations. By using research methods like interviews and surveys, we can uncover these hidden needs. Maybe users struggle with complex interfaces or lack features that support their lifestyle.
So, design thinking is like using research tools to find the user's why?
Precisely. Once we understand the why, we can design solutions that truly address their problems, not just make things faster.
This recap makes so much sense. By focusing on user needs, we can create UX designs that are truly user-centered.
You've got it. This module covered a lot of ground. Design thinking is a powerful tool to keep in your UX toolbox. Remember, the best UX designs go beyond the surface. They dig deep to find the user's true needs.
Welcome to a glimpse into the future. Get ready to explore how AI is poised to revolutionize the world of UX design. From research to ideation and prototyping to final delivery, AI is transforming how we create exceptional digital experiences. In this video, you'll uncover the ways AI is streamlining traditional design tasks, empowering new creative possibilities, and raising important questions about the future of your field. By the end of this video, you'll be able to describe the role of AI in UX design, outlining its potential benefits and limitations. Here's a closer look at how AI streamlines familiar UX tasks, offering both speed and depth. Let's start with user research and analysis. Imagine having an AI assistant that can sift through mountains of qualitative and quantitative data collected from interviews, surveys, and website analytics. AI can pinpoint recurring themes, highlight surprising correlations within user behavior, and even predict potential user needs based on historical patterns. Although human designers still need to interpret and apply these insights, AI accelerates the discovery process and frees up time for strategic thinking. Another area in which you might use AI is with wireframing and prototyping. AI-powered tools are changing the way we approach early-stage design. Instead of starting from a completely blank canvas, designers can input natural language descriptions like, "I need a login screen with 2 input fields and a social login option," and get rudimentary wireframes in seconds. AI can also suggest layout variations based on best practices. This doesn't replace the designer's decision-making, but kickstarts the ideation process and helps quickly test multiple concepts. You can also use AI with usability testing. AI takes usability testing to the next level. It can track user eye movements, measure interaction times with pinpoint accuracy, and even analyze facial expressions and sentiment within video recordings of testing sessions to gauge frustration and delight. Some AI tools can auto-generate heat maps and highlight problem areas within interfaces. Moreover, AI can help you rapidly create multiple variations of an interface, enabling A/B testing on a larger scale than ever before. AI doesn't eliminate the need for core UX skills. It empowers you to work faster, back up your decisions with deeper insights, and streamline parts of the process that used to be time-consuming or difficult to scale. AI isn't just about efficiency. It's about pushing the boundaries of design itself. Let's look at some examples. Think about adaptive interfaces. Imagine websites and apps that tailor themselves in real time to each user's preferences, needs, and even their emotional state. AI has the potential to make this level of personalization a reality. Another area AI can help with is generative design. AI tools can create thousands of design variations based on given parameters, expanding options beyond what a designer could conceive alone. Think about AI-powered accessibility. AI can help you identify and suggest solutions for accessibility issues with pinpoint accuracy, ensuring inclusive designs from day one. And you can use AI to help with voice user interface optimization. AI analyzes natural language patterns and helps refine voice assistants and chatbots for smoother, more intuitive interactions. It's crucial to remember that AI is a powerful tool, not a wholesale replacement for human designers. The true magic lies in the collaboration between AI and UX professionals. Let's look at some key points. First, empathy remains essential. AI excels at data and patterns, but can't replicate the human ability to understand emotions, cultural nuances, and the deeper motivations of users. Second, design thinking is still key. The strategic problem-solving approach of UX design remains vital. AI can assist in these processes, but not fully lead them. Finally, consider ethics and transparency. AI brings new questions about bias, data privacy, and how black box algorithms make decisions that impact users. Black box algorithms are used in machine learning models that give you a result without explaining how they did so. How can you, as a UX designer, get ready for this AI-driven future? The best way to prepare is to proactively engage with AI's advancements. Start by embracing the technology. Don't fear it. Instead, learn about AI capabilities, experiment with different AI-powered tools, and stay up to date on the latest developments in the field. The more familiar you become with the technology, the better you'll be able to integrate it effectively into your workflow. At the same time, take the time to develop a strong foundation in data analysis. This means understanding how user insights are gathered, processed, and interpreted. Knowing how to work with data will allow you to make the most of AI-powered tools, providing those insights, ensuring your design decisions are always grounded in real user needs. UX designers must still use critical thinking. Learn to question AI outputs. Think through potential biases that might exist in the data, and consider the ethical implications of implementing AI-suggested solutions. Remember, AI is a tool, and your responsibility is to ensure it's used responsibly and in service of your users. Finally, as AI takes on more routine tasks, the ability to communicate effectively, empathize with users, and think creatively will become even more crucial for designers. Although AI might help you generate options or analyze data, those uniquely human skills are what will truly elevate your designs and set you apart in an AI-fueled landscape. The future of UX design is one where human ingenuity and AI capabilities intersect, driving incredible innovation and better experiences for everyone. Thanks for exploring the exciting future of AI and UX design.
Welcome to the AI in UX Design Friend or Foe video. In this video, you'll learn about the potential of AI as a valuable tool to enhance UX design efficiency and creativity.
Alex, there's so much to consider in UX design, from user research to creating prototypes. I'm excited, but could it get overwhelming?
No worries, Maya. You can have some help. Imagine having a super smart assistant to help you along the way. That's where AI comes into play.
A design assistant powered by AI? That sounds futuristic.
Well, yes, it is the future of UX, but it's already being used today. AI tools can help streamline tasks and even spark new ideas. It's a powerful tool in our toolkit.
Okay, I'm ready to explore how AI can boost my design skills. But I have to be honest, I'm nervous about using it.
I get it, Maya. There's both promise and a bit of caution with AI. Think of it like this. AI can be a super helpful design assistant. It might help you quickly generate different color palettes for a website, suggest layout variations, or even write some basic text content. These are often repetitive tasks.
So AI frees up more of my time to focus on the big picture of the user experience?
Exactly. AI becomes your friend. But it's important to remember that AI tools primarily work off the data they're fed. If that data is biased or incomplete, the results might not be ideal. It's up to us, as designers, to be critical thinkers. We still need to make sure those AI outputs are truly user-centered and avoid just blindly accepting what the AI gives us.
So there's a potential for a foe if we don't use AI wisely?
It's more like a potential pitfall. If we rely too heavily on AI without human judgment, experiences can become generic, lack originality, or potentially even misrepresent certain groups of people. Our job as UX designers is to be champions for the user, to bring the human touch AI can't replace.
Okay, I get it. AI is a valuable tool that can help me in my UX design by offering ideas, making quick adjustments, and streamlining the design process. But it doesn't replace the human element, and I need to have a critical eye and be mindful of the ethical considerations of using such a powerful tool.
Exactly. AI is a tool to help us create even more amazing designs. And while it's powerful and pretty amazing and frankly fun to use, you must use it carefully, responsibly, and with your users in mind. Just remember this. With great power comes great responsibility.
Hey there, aspiring UX designers. Welcome to your next module, where we'll get into the exciting world of case studies. This video will outline what you can expect in this module. Picture this. You're applying for your dream UX design job. The interview's going well, but then, bam! The interviewer asks, "Can you tell us about a UX design project you've worked on?" Here's the thing. A great portfolio with strong case studies can make all the difference. They showcase your skills, your problem-solving abilities, and your design thinking process. Basically, case studies prove you're the real deal. Imagine your case studies as if they were gleaming trophies that you use to fill up your personal UX design trophy case. Each case study tells a compelling story about a specific design challenge you tackled. Like any good story, your case study should have a clear beginning, middle, and end. Every great UX story starts with the hero, the user. In this case, you'll create a user persona, a detailed profile of your target audience. The user persona guides you toward understanding the needs and frustrations of your users. Next comes the aha moment. Based on your user research, you'll identify design challenges. This is where you put on your detective hat and uncover the pain points your users are facing. Is the app's checkout process confusing? Does the website lack accessibility features? And last, the grand finale, your design solution. This is where you flex your creative muscles and craft a user-centered solution that addresses the challenges you identified. Transforming a clunky app into a smooth, intuitive experience makes a great addition to your trophy case. So, when you land that interview and they ask about your UX experience, you'll be ready to confidently show your case studies. Your case studies represent your journey, your skills, and how you can make a difference for users. That's what this module is all about. Crafting winning case studies that make you stand out as a top-notch UX designer. Get ready to build your trophy case and impress everyone with your design prowess.
Welcome to this module. In this video, we're going to talk about your portfolio, which will be an important part of demonstrating to an employer the skills you can bring to the table. By the end of this video, you will be able to discuss how a well-structured case study can help you gain employment and explain how storytelling can highlight your design thinking skills and a problem-solving approach. As an entry-level UX designer, you should know how important it is to have a strong portfolio that showcases your skills and makes you stand out from the crowd. But it's not just about listing your skills and the projects you've worked on, it's about telling the story behind them. Picture this. You've completed your training and you are applying for UX designer positions on job boards and employment websites. You know you have the design skills, but your experience is limited to the projects and activities you did during your training. You list these projects on your resume and place screenshots of the UX deliverables you created. But it was a tough sell and your lack of practical field experience became apparent in your interviews. Doesn't feel like a success story, does it? But what if you approached your limited experience in a different way? Say with more of an emphasis on the story of your experience creating those projects and activities. A storytelling approach breathes life into portfolio pieces and allows you to share your work in a more compelling way. Reworking your portfolio to focus on storytelling transforms simple project descriptions into compelling narratives that showcase your design thinking skills. Storytelling shows employers how you identified problems, used relevant research, and came up with creative solutions. With storytelling, interviewers won't just see your designs, they'll walk with you through the process. The journey you took to achieve the project goals. They'll see problem-solving skills and how you use them, the empathy you show with users, and your ability to think critically. Why is storytelling so powerful? Because design is more than functionality and aesthetics. It's about understanding users and their problems, solving those problems in creative ways, and creating positive experiences. When you tell the story behind your designs, you're not just showcasing the final product. You're calling attention to the way in which you use your design thinking skills and how you apply your problem-solving abilities to specific situations. Storytelling shows prospective employers that you are a strategic thinker who can make a real impact in their company. To accomplish this, you need to build a strong case study. A solid and effective storytelling case study should follow a structure like this. Project overview. Begin by briefly introducing the project, the client, and the overall goal of the project. The design challenge. Describe the problem you are trying to solve for the user. This sets the stage for the challenges that you faced. User research findings. Talk about the research, describing the methods and key findings. Explain how it helped you understand the users and how the insights from that research affected the design challenge. Design solutions implemented. Walk through the steps you took throughout your design process. What questions did you ask? What concepts did you explore? What wireframes and prototypes did you test? How did that get you to the final solution? Results achieved. Explain precisely how your design solution achieved the desired outcome. Quantify results whenever possible to demonstrate the projected impact, such as increased user satisfaction, improved task completion rates, and so on. It's important to not just list these steps, you have to weave them into a compelling narrative. Do it the same way you would if you were talking about it with your friends over dinner. Paint a picture of the initial problem and the frustrations users face. Describe the aha moment when you came up with a solution. Share challenges you overcame and lessons you learned. Your case study is a mini story, so use clear, concise language and vivid details. If there was a specific user who inspired your design, highlight their experience. If user testing revealed an unexpected problem, tell that story too. These kinds of details in a case study make your portfolio relatable and show your passion for user-centered design. Never forget to showcase the results of your design solution and quantify them whenever possible. This shows prospective employers the tangible impact your UX design skills can deliver, Weaving storytelling into your case studies demonstrates your value as a UX designer. It shows employers that you are more than just a potential candidate. Remember, employers are looking for designers with proven abilities, so tell them the story of how you are exactly what they're looking for. Welcome back. In an earlier video, we briefly mentioned how to build an effective case study for your portfolio. Here, we'll take a closer, step-by-step look. By the end of this video, you'll be able to list the common components of a strong case study, including project overview, the design challenge, user research findings, design solutions implemented, and the results achieved, as well as identify best practices for each section. Remember, a strong case study isn't about bragging. It's about clearly communicating the design process you went through, the challenges you tackled, and the impact your work made. The first section of a solid case study structure is the project overview. The overview is basically the introduction to the story you're telling with this portfolio piece. Here, you briefly present the project parameters, what it was, its goals, and the context. This section sets the stage. For example, let's say you were working with a local library to update their website. The current one is outdated and is often confusing for the library's patrons, especially the ones who are older or not very tech-savvy. The overview for this case study would introduce the project and its goal: to redesign the library website to improve user experience by making it easier for people to find what they need. You might also mention any limitations or constraints you faced, like a tight deadline or a limited budget. In the next section of the case study structure, you identify the design challenge. As the title suggests, here's where you define the problem you wanted to solve with your design. Framing the problem as a challenge determines the direction of your entire design process. It also makes sure your solutions align with the needs of the users and the client's business goals. For the library website example, the design challenge might be something like, the current website is difficult to navigate, especially for older adults or people unfamiliar with technology. This makes it hard for them to find information about library hours, programs, and online resources. By clearly defining this challenge, you've established an initial roadmap for your design solutions. The next section is user research findings, which will explain the why that enabled you to identify the challenge and also drove your design decisions. Here you'll describe the research methods you used and summarize the insights you gleaned from that research. This section shows you understand your target audience's needs, preferences, and pain points, and allows you to design with empathy. For the library website, let's say you conducted user interviews with librarians and patrons, as well as held some user sessions where you observed how people interacted with the existing website. Your research findings might have revealed that users found the website cluttered and overwhelming. The navigation menu was confusing and lacked clear labels. Search functionality was limited and ineffective. Older adults wanted larger fonts and simpler layouts. These insights became the foundation for both your challenge definitions and your design solutions. This fourth section is the heart of the case study, describing the design solutions implemented. Here's where you showcase your creative and problem-solving skills by walking through your iterative design process. Depending on the project, you might show early sketches and wireframes explaining how you refine them based on user feedback. The section gives you a platform to demonstrate how your solutions address the challenge you identified and the user's needs. It's where you can show your wireframes, prototypes, or final designs, making sure to explain the thinking behind them. In the library website example, your design solutions would likely include UX deliverables and screenshots showing a cleaner, more minimalistic layout with ample white space, a simplified navigation menu with clear, concise labels, a robust search bar with filters and easy-to-understand search terms, large fonts, and high contrast colors for improved readability. The final section, Results Achieved, is where you quantify the impact your design made. You might do this by using surveys or A/B testing to show user satisfaction, or by statistics that show that web traffic increased among your target users. Metrics like these showcase the tangible benefits your work delivered. More than that, it shows people like prospective employers that your design decisions were backed up by evidence. It shows how your design made a real difference. In the library website example, let's say that there was a significant increase in website traffic from older adults, and surveys revealed that most users found the redesigned website much easier to navigate and had no trouble locating the information they needed. These positive outcomes validated your design approach. So, as you build your portfolio, keep in mind that clear communication, user-centered design, and measurable results are the cornerstones of a winning case study. See you next time. Hello, future UX designers, and welcome to your final project overview. The final project of the certificate program is where you'll have the opportunity to practice the things you'll learn throughout the program. But don't think of it as just another training activity. Most experts agree that you haven't truly learned something until you've used it. That's how knowledge becomes skill. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify the information and activities you'll need to learn and do that build toward the capstone portfolio project activity at the end of this training. Ready for an overview of what it will look like to put your skills to the test in a real-world scenario? Then let's go. Let me set the stage. You've just landed your dream job as a UX designer at a hot new startup called Whiplash. They are committed to creating mobile apps that are cutting-edge, fast-paced, and all about revolutionizing the way we do things. The first product they want to launch, also known as the reason they hired you, is a mobile app to make grocery shopping fast and easy for busy professionals. Your challenge is to design that app. Its working title is Grocery Shopping App, and Whiplash expects it to be a game changer for people who don't have time to spend hours in the supermarket. But no pressure. What exactly will you be doing? The short answer is plenty. You'll have to wear a lot of hats. Throughout this project, you'll need to flex your creative muscles and apply all the UX design knowledge you've gained. You'll start with user research, using different methods to uncover the pain points and the wants and needs busy professionals have when it comes to buying groceries. You'll synthesize interviews, analyze surveys, and dig deep into user data so you can understand their frustrations and give them what they truly need. Next, you'll use design thinking to transform those research findings into creative solutions. You will get to brainstorm ideas and sketch out low-fidelity concepts you can use to experiment with options and focus on the best solutions. Then, once you have some solid ideas for how to proceed, you'll craft a user journey with UX deliverables like flowcharts and wireframes to show how users will navigate through the grocery shopping app. Remember, the goal here will be to make everything smooth and intuitive. What would it take for a professional on their lunch break to quickly add groceries to their cart and check out with ease? After that, you'll put on your information architect hat and design the information hierarchy within the app, ensuring a logical structure that makes sense to users. It'll be like building and navigating through a virtual grocery store, so everything is in the right place for easy browsing and checkout. And speaking of checkout, you'll be designing that too. A seamless and secure way for users to pay for their groceries with a single click and secure payment gateways so your users can buy their groceries in seconds. Convenience will be the key to the user experience here. Next, you'll take everything you've learned from this training, research, design thinking, information architecture, and so on, and create high-fidelity mockups that bring grocery shopping app to life. These are the blueprints of your app, and these mockups will help you communicate your design vision clearly. Then, you'll transform those static mockups into an interactive prototype, so grocery shopping app users can tap, swipe, and navigate the app, and give you valuable feedback on your design. Seeing people interact with your creation is both a satisfying and informative step. Remember, great design is an iterative process, which means you'll use the feedback from the prototype to refine your solution, making grocery shopping app even better. Each iteration strengthens and polishes your final product. Finally, you'll put together a presentation that showcases your journey from start to finish. The final project will show you and everyone else how well you've developed your UX design skills and your ability to solve real-world problems. Welcome back. We've talked a little bit about the final project and mentioned different activities you'll be working on throughout the training. In this video, we'll look at two essential tools that you'll be using to do this. Powerful tools like Figma and a solid design system like Fluent 2 will help you create projects that are not only stunning, but also professional and user-friendly. By the end of this video, you will be able to describe Figma and Fluent 2 and discuss their capabilities. Ready? Then let's get started. Let's start with Figma. You can think of this tool as your digital design sandbox. It's a cloud-based platform that enables you to design anything from basic wireframes to complex interactive prototypes. Figma is also a collaboration tool, which empowers you to work on projects and iterations in real time, with team members who could be based anywhere in the world. Getting started with Figma is fairly straightforward, but give yourself some time to get comfortable using it. Using Figma, you can create new projects from scratch or open and contribute to an existing project. The interface is user-friendly and features a toolbar on top for all your design essentials, a central canvas where you can create, adjust, and focus your main ideas to bring them to life, and panels on the side to manage layers and fine-tune properties. In future readings and videos, you will explore the features of Figma that you will use to create and iterate wireframe models. But for now, it's enough to keep in mind that Figma gives you the ability to turn your ideas and creativity into the foundation of your UX projects. Now, let's briefly discuss the Fluent 2 design system. Fluent 2 is Microsoft's design language, a set of guidelines, pre-built components, and resources that help designers create user interfaces that are clear, layered, and adaptable across a variety of different platforms. Think of it as the principles and values that express a shared vision to influence how product designers approach and solve problems, so the resulting designs are aesthetic, accessible, and consistent. Fluent 2 is all about creating experiences that are clear and easy to navigate. It includes pre-built components like buttons, menus, and icons, along with color palettes and typography that work together seamlessly, so there's no need to reinvent the wheel with each design. When you combine Figma's flexibility with the design power of Fluent 2, it saves you time and effort and enables you to quickly create and build designs that are visually appealing and consistent with industry standards. Fluent 2 gives you access to a library of pre-designed elements you can easily drag and drop into your Figma projects. And from within Figma, you can access and use Fluent 2 resources such as pre-built components, icons, and color palettes. Then you can adjust, focus, and work with them to achieve the goals of your design prototypes. Then, after you have completed a prototype and conducted the necessary user testing, you can gather, interpret, and incorporate your feedback into the next iteration of that prototype or incorporate it into the larger product design. Using Figma and Fluent 2 gives UX designers like you the power to shepherd your designs from ideation to final texting and rollout in a website, app, or software interface. And throughout the remainder of this program, you'll have the opportunity to delve even deeper into strategies for leveraging Fluent 2 principles within Figma to create portfolio projects that are user-friendly, as well as fully functional and visually stunning. To that end, here are a few pro tips you can use to make your designs more successful. Organization is the key to great designs. Keep your Figma projects clean and organized by using layers and naming layers and components clearly. Using meaningful and consistent naming conventions makes collaboration easier and saves your team from confusion and headaches later. Teamwork. You're all in this together. Figma's collaborative features are designed to streamline both communication and the overall process. Use the tool's features to work with your team, get feedback, and iterate on your designs together. Stay on top of your game. Design trends evolve, so keep yourself updated on the latest best practices and features for Figma, Fluent 2, and any other tools you'll use. Remember, practice really does make perfect. Don't be afraid to experiment with Figma and Fluent 2. The more you use them, the more comfortable and confident you'll become, and the more ready you will be to take your UX design skills to the next level. We'll talk again soon.
Hello, and welcome to the Showcasing Your Skills wrap-up. By the end of this video, you'll be able to identify key points of the module and connect these key points to entry-level UX designer career development.
So, I learned a ton about creating a great portfolio, but how do I make my case studies stand out?
That's a smart question. Remember, your portfolio is the key to landing a UX design job. Your portfolio shows potential employers what you're capable of, and case studies are a key part of a strong portfolio. Think of a case study as a mini UX design adventure. Each case study tells the story of how you tackled a real-world design challenge, from understanding the problem to crafting a brilliant solution for users. Here's the thing. A strong case study isn't just about showing off a fancy design. It explains the why behind your decisions.
Okay, so how do I make my case study shine?
First, you want to show off quality over quantity. Pick a project you're really proud of, something that showcases your design thinking process in action. After you've chosen a strong project, focus on user research and be sure you show the impact. Focus on the user research that informed your design choices. Explain how you identified user pain points and then used your skills to create a solution that makes their lives easier. Don't forget to use data and numbers to show the positive impact of your work. Be sure to make your case study visually engaging. Images, infographics, and even short videos can grab viewers' attention and keep them excited to learn about your design skills.
Okay, my case study is ready to show the world.
With a strong case study in your portfolio, you'll be well on your way to impressing potential employers and landing your dream UX design job. Remember, your design skills can really shine when you use your case study to showcase them.
Welcome back, and congratulations on completing this first course on the fundamentals of UI UX design. In this video, we'll briefly review the key information and concepts covered in the course and invite you to keep them in mind as you go forward and build upon this knowledge. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify the key learning points from this course and use them as background as you move forward. So again, congratulations on what you've accomplished so far. And allow me to encourage you to use this information as a stepping stone to develop more skills and knowledge that will enable you to be a world-class UX designer. So let's review. Remember the frustrating and clunky library website you dealt with in an early example of not so great UX design? The one where library patrons felt like they were trekking through a navigational maze just to find the book they wanted. That example is indicative of the need for good UX designers and designs. Websites, apps, and computer program interfaces need people like you to become the architects of more positive user experiences and better functionality. You began the course by exploring and understanding the core principles that guide UX design. You were introduced to the key focus for crafting user-friendly interfaces, the concepts of human-centered design, HCD, and user-centered design, or UCD. UCD is a design process that puts the user at the heart of everything you do in a project. This starts with uncovering what users truly need, the functionality and experiences they want to have, and what frustrates them about a site or app design. HCD is a broader focus that covers all users. Next, you explored what users do and what employers look for, like the methods for making users the center of your designs, including user research methods such as surveys, interviews, and observing user testing of both similar designs and new design wireframes and prototypes. The insights from this research are what define the problems you're trying to solve for the user and ideate options to accomplish these solutions through design. In other words, how to take the insights gleaned from users' identified wants, needs, and frustrations and translating them into actionable design solutions. For this, you explored the process of design thinking, where you empathize with the user through research, define the problem the design needed to solve by analyzing and understanding the research insights, ideated or brainstormed potential design solutions to that problem, prototype these potential solutions using tools like storyboarding to map out the user journey to help visualize users' flow and identify any potential roadblocks that need to be addressed or solved by the design. With prototyping, you examine how to translate your ideas into tangible elements such as wireframing and mockups. These range from simple sketches to interactive models that focused on the design's user flow and functionality without worrying about the aesthetics yet. It can help to think of prototypes as rough sketches an artist uses before putting paint to canvas. Finally, you tested the prototypes, gathered feedback, and reiterated until the design achieved the project goals. Once you went through the UCD and design thinking processes, you investigated the principles of visual design to learn how to integrate them into your models and prototypes to make the app, web, or software interface usable, visual, engaging, and most importantly, a smooth, positive user experience. These principles included concepts such as hierarchy, balance, white space, contrast, and color theory, which all play a crucial role in creating a visually appealing and intuitive experience. Later in the course, you explored prototyping tools like Figma and Fluent 2, which let you test design ideas with users before investing a lot of time and effort into them. These tools give you the ability to build interactive prototypes for user testing that people can click and navigate through, which gives them a solid example of the final product. They also allow you to identify and fix any usability issues early on before the actual product launch. Finally, you had a glimpse of the world of AI for designers. These generative AI tools can enable you to explore and experiment with design variations that can streamline your workflows. And these tools promise to develop and become more robust as technology continues to advance. That means more and better UX design opportunities in the future. By building a solid foundation with these essential skills and knowledge, you are well on your way to thriving as an entry-level UX designer. Remember, this is just the beginning of your UX design journey. So, as we move into the next course, keep practicing, keep exploring, and soon you'll be crafting user experiences that delight and amaze. I'll see you next time.